Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back with a daily race C. So this week's daily race C is the Red Bull X 2014 Junior at Suzuka. I'm starting from pole position in this race. We're not really going to worry about too much. This is just for background really, and to talk about the settings for this race, because this is actually something very good. Hopefully this is a trend that may continue, where we'll have a couple of races every now and then that are like this, because this is a flat out race from start to finish. No fuel saving, no tyre wear issues. We've got ×15 tyre wear. However, the racing hard tyres on the Red Bull X 2014 Junior last a very long time. You can see there I've got the camera in the bottom left hand corner on P2, who's in P2 at the moment, because P2 and P3 are going to have a battle in this race. It's going to pretty much last from start to finish, and it's just emphasising why I really like these type of races. For me, it was obviously a bit of a simple race because early in the day, pole position, and I can just pull away. We're currently P1 in the top 10 stars. It won't stay there. I have got a lot more potential though. I think we can definitely get into the 57s. So I will be getting a track guide out for that tomorrow. I'll probably just use the lap that I've done. As you can see, we've got the pedal camera on there because I had it set up to do the track guide, obviously. And that lap's been done, the 58.3. So we'll probably get that track guide out tomorrow. But for this, we're just going to talk about the current settings in this lobby. So this is race C. Race A is, I think it's the Audi TT Cup Group 4 car at Autopolis, a single make race, which is actually not a bad idea. I think that can work. It's a single make series, so it's not a bad idea, that. And then race B, I think, is Brands Hatch Group 3, which again, it's not a bad combination. It's quite an enjoyable one. It's, you know, quite a short race, but again, quite enjoyable. This race C, however, is the one that I'm really excited and really happy about, to be honest, because it feels it's a refreshing change. This now every week, majority of the time we're getting tyre wear, we're having to look after tyres. FIA races, we're dealing with extreme tyre wear, and or fuel or something, you know, or both together. For a change, we've got a race here, and it's 10 laps long with this car, which actually is longer than the FIA races we've been doing recently. Because, for example, Brands Hatch in Group 3 was, I think it was probably a similar type of lap time to what we do in this car around here, because we had the race and soft tyres one in Group 3, so it was around 2 minutes a lap, something like that, and that was only 9 laps. This is 10 laps, so it's a little bit extra, which does make a difference. So we've got 10 laps just to go flat out from start to finish, and it really is enjoyable. You can see, you know, you can watch my footage. I'm not taking it easy. We make a few errors on this race. This is only my second race. We absolutely cocked it up in the first one. I binned it, I think, around this point of the track on the first race. Totally binned it and had to fight back. But the great thing was, I ended up down into P7, and we didn't kill our tyres. This is something that Tidgeney's talked about as well. You know, if you make a mistake, even though this race isn't particularly long, it's 10 laps, but 10 laps is enough to fight back, to, you know, just to save some of your driver rating. And what happened was I binned it, dropped back a bit. The tyres were a little bit scruffy for about half a lap, you know, just trying to get back into the rhythm, the heat cycle, and obviously they built up a bit of heat into them, got a bit of dirt on them as well from going in the gravel. Got them all cleaned and then fought back to a P3. So I was able to do it, and I was able to put in the fastest laps of the race. I was gaining on the leaders, but it was just a little bit short of being able to get the win, which is fair enough. You know, I made the mistake and I have to, you know, take the punishment for that. But this race, I was able to just get out in front. You can see I've got I think it's a 3.1 second lead there. You can see in the top left hand corner. We've got the Delta on. I recorded this through Streamlabs, that's why we've got the pedal on. So this is the actual proper gameplay. You can see my brake bias was set to -5. That's because I want to save the rear tyres more than the fronts with this car. It's got a very strong front end anyway. The rears do wear a little bit more, but it's not a massive amount. I was messing between -5 and -3. If you want to go -3, probably be fine. I think if you start going rearwards with the bias, you're going to start having a bit, maybe on the last few laps, the rear might get a little bit temperamental, but I had no real massive issues with the rear, even, you know, on the last lap. It was getting there with being a little bit, you know, virgin on. You got to be a bit careful, but that's what you want. You want a progressive change throughout the race, where you start off with a lot of grip, and then it slowly fades off, and, you know, the car gets a little bit lighter though, so it's gonna feel a little bit more edgy when that fuel's running lower and the car's losing a little bit of traction off the tyres. But it's progressive, and that's what I really like about this race. You can feel the traction loss. You know what grip you're going to have going into every corner. It's not like, for example, the FIA race that I will be uploading tomorrow for manufacturers, where every single corner, it was like a lottery. The lap before, you had the grip. Next lap round, your car just reacts totally different. And this is something that hopefully they're going to start incorporating more. I mean, even if it's just once every 3 weeks we have a race like this, or every 4 weeks, maybe if it's two tyre wear, 1 fuel, 1 flat out. I mean, as a daily race, that wouldn't do any harm. There are obviously people out there that do like the tyre wear, and they want to race with this higher tyre wear. So, let's have something for everyone. But this is good to see that they've actually incorporated this into a daily race seat. Are they trialing it out? Are they testing the water? Are they seeing what people think about this all-out aggressive approach to racing? Now, obviously, the battling's not going to be going on in this lobby because this was very early in the day, so it's a fairly easy win for myself because I think there was a couple of top 10 drivers in the top 10 stars are in it, but it's not really drivers that you will have seen before. Especially with a car like this, it attracts different drivers into this car because not everyone's a fan of this car. I like it. I think it's entertaining to drive. I think it's rewarding. You've got to be really smooth, so it still suits the smoothness driving, but you've got to be aggressive at the same time. You've got to chuck it into the corners, but then hold it at the point where the rear's slightly just holding the traction, and it's really enjoyable. But you can see in the distance there, you can see that this driver here in I think he's at the moment in P3, but we're following in the bottom left hand corner on the camera, and P2's just ahead of him. But they're having a race. He made a mistake. He got onto the gravel, he slid the car massively, and now he's catching back up to P2, and he's able to stay in this battle because of the tyre wear. So it's really interesting that they had a really entertaining race, to be fair. They were swapping positions. I could see it on the left hand side as I was racing. I was just concentrating on my own race, keeping it consistent. You can see we're about coming up to lap 4 now. We're starting lap 4. We've got a 4-second gap. It's just about trying to keep it smooth, trying to keep it consistent, trying not to make any silly errors. I was just trying to not really push 100%, but just trying to keep the laps in the 2 minutes, really. Around 2 minutes 0.5 was the aim. I think I could have got into the 1 minute 59s if I really went aggressive. But one thing about this car, if you do drive it a little bit too aggressive, the rear can step out on you, and that's what happened in my first race. So I took note of that and just tried to take it quite easy. You can see, just keeping it nice and smooth, trying to keep it in the track, trying not to run on the gravel, on the dirt or grass, get any dirty air. Don't want no dirty tyres on this, with this car, because it will bite you and punish you quite badly. But you can see in that left hand corner, you can see I think at this point now where P3 is starting to gain on P2, so you can see there he's getting close to that slipstream. So they're having a battle throughout this race just by driving flat out, and it's really refreshing to see for me, because they're not having to worry about tyres and not having to worry about fuel. This battle between them in the bottom left hand corner is all about outright pace. There's nothing else to it. It's about how consistent you can drive close to the limit, and this is going to suit some drivers more so than other drivers. I like this kind of race. I don't know how well I'll do against some of the faster drivers, but I think I'll be able to compete for sure with some of them. Some I won't be able to. Like TL Lightning will be gone on a race like this, driving 100% max out all the time. He's in a league of his own in that kind of driving, but still, I find this more entertaining. This is more what I would like to see in FIA. Maybe with this race would be really interesting if they would have started it on 50% fuel. So I think that would equal about 12 laps of fuel, and then leave it on like the settings they've got now, and maybe ran it at maybe 15 laps, because someone might go for the fuel saving way, someone might go all out aggressive, be faster over the lap, and then quickly running the pits around lap 10, lap 12, dart in the pits, put a new set of tyres on, fill the car up a little bit, and then try and catch up a bit, because you might get undercut, you might lose a few seconds, but then you'll be so much faster on them last few laps. With an extra 5 laps in this race, it would make a big difference. I think you'd start getting a little bit trickier to drive, and then obviously the fuel saving would be needed if you wanted to. So it'd be alternative strategies, something like that in FIA, maybe a little bit longer, like 18 laps or something like that. It'd be interesting, just so that you couldn't really. It'd be interesting to see if you could judge it right, so that the one stopper was the way to go for everyone, but there was different ways of running it. But yeah, I would like to see something like this, even if it was, like I say, the 15-lap race in a FIA race, something a little bit long, 30-minute race. You can one-stop it, you can no-stop it. It'd be interesting to see how that would work out. I might actually test that out with the settings they've got here in an open lobby at some stage, because I think 15 laps with these cars with the settings they're running now, starting on 50% fuel, it would be quite interesting to see how that would go over a race, because it must be close, because I think it was 20. I think you'd have about 12 to 11 laps of driving flat out of fuel. So with a bit of fuel saving and tyre management, you're going to lose maybe a second or so a lap, 15 seconds then, maybe a little bit more. 70 pit lane losses around 15-16 seconds, but then you'd have traffic, so it'd be really interesting. So we'll definitely try that out at some point in the stream. But you can see we're approaching now past halfway in the race. We're starting lap 6 now, so we've done 5 laps, and you can see the consistency. This is the key point about why I think this is a good setting, and I'm glad they've done it. But look at my lap times on the right hand side. There's only 3-4 tenths difference between lap 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously not lap 1, sorry, because that was the out lap, but like lap 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're all in the 2 minutes. You know, the odd mistake will make it. You know, you do lose time in this car. If you slightly lose a reel, you don't get on the power properly, you can lose like 3 or 4 tenths. But you can see that you're able to drive it consistent, and this suits people that are able to get in a rhythm. You know, really just focus in on the race and have some fun. So we're going to probably stream this later today, so check that out. We'll go on our other account, the Key 25 account, and I'm going to obviously start from the back of the grid, and because it's 10 laps, I think we'll have the opportunities to get into the top 10 at least, because we're going to be able to drive 100% aggressive, trying to find our way. You know, so it's all going to be about overtaking on track, and none of this overtaking in pits, saving fuel. You know, oh, we'll just pit a lap earlier, gain 5 seconds because our tyres are going to be super, you know, way better than them that are staying out, because they've got, you know, times 25 tyre wear. What this is going to be a flat out race from P20, and it's going to be a case of, can I make up, even if I only make up 8 places, it'll be entertaining, I think, to actually do real race, you know, real passing on the track, proper racing. And I hope hopefully some top drivers are going to race this tonight, because I've seen a lot of positivity on social media that they've gone for this kind of setup. I think even Ticheney said he might try a daily race at the end of the week, and there's something I'm thinking of trying to sort something out for this daily race. I'm going to have a word with a few people and try and see if we can do something. I'm going to actually speak to Ticheney about an idea that I've got, and I think it'll be really entertaining to do. So I'm definitely going to have a little conversation with a few drivers, Lightning, Ticheney, etc., see if they can, when they're planning on doing this race, and we'll try and sort something out. So that should be entertaining. But in this race, you can see there, again, look at the battle. So P3 has now overtook, the driver that was in P3 has now overtook P2, and the driver in P3 is just sitting behind, trying to stay with him. They're making little mistakes here and there, which is giving the other car a chance to get back past. So while they're doing that, I was just trying to keep it clean. You can see a previous best, personal best of the race there, just a 2:02. Obviously, the heavy fuel that you're running does slow this car down quite a bit compared to the time trial. We did obviously a 58.3 in time trial. It can go into the 57s. So that fuel weight does slow the car down a little bit. It really does. The reason why I put the camera quite big in that bottom left hand corner is just so you can see some of the action and the battling that they're doing, just to show you how close the racing can be if you've got evenly matched people that can push 100% throughout the whole race. And what we've got also, I've tried to keep the braking inputs and the accelerator inputs in on the obviously the HUD, so you can see that while I'm driving as well. But yeah, we're going to get the track guide out for this, so that will be out tomorrow. You can see myself, again, just look at the way we can keep these lap times consistent. So every time I'm coming to a corner, what I'm really liking about this combination is we can judge the braking perfectly. We can judge the corner grip when it does catch us by a little bit of surprise, you know, a little bit of grip that's starting to fade off. We can compensate for that the next lap. It's not going to just like instantly bite you and spin you out. And also what I noticed as well was when you get to the curbs with the wear not so bad, if you do run a little bit wide onto the curb by you maybe pushing the limits a bit, there's a little bit more grip there, so the car won't instantly snap on you. It's more likely to give you a little warning, and then you know, right, okay, that's my warning, let's stay away from that curb. I don't want to do that as the tyres wear a little bit thinner towards the end. Obviously it is times 15 tyre wear, like I say, so there is tyre wear on this, but it's not going to cause you any trouble. There is no way you're going to pit on this race. Do not pit. That is 100% a no-no, because you'd lose so much time. And if you look at my lap times, they're not fading, they're just staying consistent, so you're not going to gain anything really. You might gain half a second to a second by the end of the race because of lighter fuel, but you know, gaining 3 seconds through a 15-second pit loss, not really advisable, to be brutally honest. But you can see again, let's have a little look at that battle in that bottom left hand corner, as you can see how close they are. And this is what I like to see. Two cars going at it 100%. They're both pushing, they're both fairly closely matched, and they're both driving the limits. You can see their cars are sliding, they're getting the rear loose. They're able to do that. They can push the cars like that, get the cars sliding, and it's not going to kill their race, because they've still got the grip on the tyres to do that for another lap after that, and another lap after that. I mean, just look at that drift he did round that corner then, and that's give the incentive for P3 to have a little look. But he's not. Is he going to go for it on this corner? I haven't actually watched this properly all the way through. He's going to have a little look. No, he backs out of that one, and it's really, I like watching this, because this is what we want in FIA. We want groups of cars on a head-to-head with no car prep, no advantage for the car. No advantage with tyres, no advantage with fuel, just a straight race, 1v1, and see who comes out on top. And that's what I think a lot of drivers want to see, as you see again that P2 driver pushing the limits on the curb and getting away with it, because the car has got the traction on the curb, and P3 then picking up the slipstream. And one thing I will say about this combination is the slipstream isn't overpowered. It is there, it does give you enough to pull alongside, but as we have a look now, he's able to defend on the inside line, and I actually did a really nice move around the outside. Like, oh, they nearly touched there. Round the outside, side by side through 130R on lap. Let's see, we're on lap 8 of a race. Let's see if anyone could do that on lap 8 in an FIA race. That was brilliant driving. I didn't even see that until then, so it was really entertaining to see. You could just see him going around the outside of 130R, and that's it. I actually did that exact move on the previous race coming back through the grid. I think it was on lap 9, and I can tell you it was scary, because the tyres were at that point where if you push a little bit too much, they can start fading a little bit, and it nearly went on me, but I managed to hold it flat out around the outside like he did there. So really entertaining to watch, and that's what we want to see, you know, aggressive, brave, overtaking moves, which at the moment, let's be brutally honest, we cannot do in the current FIA situation, because if you try anything like that, you're going to end up in the gravel, in the wall, damage, destroyed tyres, and then your race will be over, because you only got 9 laps to even do anything with it anyway, and you know, you're pitting halfway through that. So it is refreshing to see that they've gone for this combination. Hopefully this is a change for maybe mixing it up a little bit. I'd like to see races like this in FIA as well, rather than, you know, what tends to happen in FIA is if it's not a tyre race, it's a massive fuel saving fest where everyone has to short shift, no pit, and it gets a little bit boring, if I'm honest. It can be entertaining if you've got a lot of cars very close together, but in my opinion, I think most people would rather watch 5 cars fighting like crazy for the win, 100% throttle, 100% using up as much tyre life as they want because they've got the grip there, than say 8 cars just sitting behind each other, abusing the fuel, the slipstream. You know, I'll say fuel behind you, you say fuel behind me. I think people would rather have the race and watch the racing from start to finish. As you can see now, anyway, we're coming up to the end of lap 9. So starting our final lap, we can see that lap 8 we made a bit of an error on. I can't remember exactly what happened, but we lost a few temps on that lap. Let's see if we can get back into the 2 minutes on lap 9, and it looks like we are. Yeah, we're back into the 2 minutes. So yeah, the tyres are still fine. They're able to do 2 minutes. A mistake on lap 8, maybe lost a little bit of concentration or something, but it's great to be able to do this. You know, when was the last time we had a daily race or FIA race where it was like this? I think the last time I remember a race like this was actually in when it used to be on the proper daily change. I think there was a race in Group 3 in the Toyota Supra round here that was very similar to this. It was just a flat out race to the finish, and I remember some road car races, and I think there's been another race possibly in Group 2 or something like that a long time ago. But it's great to see that, you know, I can't remember since we've changed to the weekly system of rotation on the tracks, or at the new FIA Extreme Tyre, I can't remember a situation where we've had a track and a combination like this where we've been able to just go that aggressive from lap 1 to lap 10 with every lap within, you know, 5, 6, 7 tenths of each other. It's great to see, and it's really refreshing to be involved with, and I enjoy this type of racing. So I'm looking forward to streaming this later. I hope you're all going to come in and check me out and probably watch me crash a lot, because I'll be pushing too hard. and reading chat, but you know, that's what we're there to do, have some fun. And we're going to do it on our other account. I'm not going to do it on this account. I did, obviously, this is my main account that I did this race on. Obviously I don't want to lose any DR starting from the back of the grid. Obviously I could start from the front using this account, but I think it's more entertaining and more fun to go on the other account, start from the back, and let's practice some overtaking and driving in dirty air as well. It's good practice, I think, to be in the slipstream of the car, and I think it's helping me out in my FIA season anyway. That type of practice. We come now to the final chicane, taking it a little bit easier now. We're not pushing too aggressive, you can see, not really abusing the curbs too much, just taking it how you can cut a lot more off that chicane than what I did there. And then going over the line. Is this lap going to be, it might be over the 2 minutes, I'm not sure. No, back into the 2 minutes again. So that shows you that 10 laps are possible. I think you could actually do very low 2 minutes on every lap, and possibly in the 59s on some of them laps if you really got in the zone and practiced it a little bit more, because obviously this is only my second race, so still got to learn a bit. You can see the battle between P2 and P3 faded on the last lap. I think one of the drivers made a mistake, but it was great to see that they battled like that from start to finish and were able to push 100%. So hope you enjoyed that little video. Hope it's a little insight into Daily Race C today. Hope you're all going to jump on there. Let's see if we can get, you know, quite a lot of people in on Daily Race C and have quite high rated top splits, and then that'll make it even more challenging for myself to come from last place and get to even P10. So let's see what happens. We're going to be back also tomorrow streaming as well, hopefully with FIA on Wednesday, etc. So I'll see you all later. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon.